let's take a look at my accountability lesson from the NBA. I always feel like it's good to be held accountable, and when you are in charge of your own stuff, that means you have to hold yourself accountable. So today, going to look at some of the predictions we got right and wrong from last season and what we can learn about them as we get ready for another NBA season. Let's begin with one of the things I got right. The number one breakout player that we predicted from last year was Cade Cunningham. And I know that wasn't necessarily unique to here, but I feel like we doubled down on that a little bit more than a lot of people did. We got some good value on the Detroit Pistons as a playoff team because of that, and a couple win total wins for them as well. So this was one of our more profitable picks as the season went on. But that's where it stops. Because looking at overvalued teams, thought the Celtics might ease up a little bit of a championship hangover. No, I had under 58.5. That was incorrect. We were right with overvalued Charlotte at 30.5. And this is something I've noticed over the years of doing these episodes. I'm pretty good at figuring out which teams really suck. And we were able to nail it on Charlotte there. We had Memphis overvalued at 47.5. They won 48. So it's an L, but I don't feel that bad about it. And we had Atlanta overvalued at 36.5. Got that one wrong as well. Overvalued, we didn't necessarily hit last year. So, what about the undervalued teams? Well, those we did a little bit better on. But first, don't miss Couch Potato Diary. Bring me with you wherever you go, as you can hit subscribe on Couch Potato Diary on the podcast, on Apple Podcasts, on Spotify, or wherever you get your pods. So, undervalued teams. How did we do on last year's squad? Well, I thought, you know what, Sacramento, DeMar DeRozan completes this lineup. Boy, they look good, don't they? Oops. Took an L on that one at 44.5. Dallas, I thought 50-game winner. Klay Thompson, perfect complement for what they're doing. 49.5? No, we're hitting that one easy. There's no way they're going to trade Luka or anything. So that was an L on our part there. The big win, like I said, Detroit at 25.5. Had the Cade Cunningham breakout, nailed that one, felt pretty good about that. And Houston, one of the things we focused on last year based on the accountability episode was young players. We think of this progression, but now in the NBA, because these young players are so gifted and so talented, they take a couple of steps. And so we are focusing on that again this year, and we were able to nail that one on Houston. And I feel like we would have nailed it with Orlando as well, but just injuries got in the way of that one. So what lessons do we learn here, I suppose? I guess for one, it is, again, try to double down on some of those younger teams taking that next step and taking a couple of next steps. But those elite teams high up in the win totals don't necessarily think, just a win or two, they're going to take it easy. That tends to not happen. Good teams are good for a reason. So let's take that lesson as we move on with our NBA preview. So a lot more NBA previewing coming up here. If you're watching, make sure you hit that subscribe button and lock it on here for a lot more NBA coverage as the season goes along. Also, follow me on social media. I am at Primetime Klein on Instagram, X, TikTok, Threads, Blue Sky, all the places that people are socially in the media. You can find me at Primetime Klein. So check me out there.